Welcome, everybody. I've got the Eugen Enin with me today. It's great to see you again, my friend. Thanks for being here.
Yes.
We're going to be talking
everybody.
about body tension today. We've been talking about a lot of different things with form and specifically how they can affect not just your ability to skate, but your lifestyle. And Eugen has lots of amazing things to say about this topic, so I'm excited to get into this. Eugen, so body tension. Why don't you tell me what am I even talking about? What is body tension?
So in Germany, it's called like Körperspannung, but it describes basically your ability to contract your body in certain situations to hold a specific posture. Because it's a lot of topics actually, like because I'm not talking about only increasing your body tension, but it's also important to sometimes have really low body tension and be really fluent at certain moments. But it's important to control both ways. So let's say it's nice if you're kind of like a flexy person and you're able to go down on a rocket backside rocket backside torque, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't help you much if you can't stand out of it. Let's say the spot is hip high. Yeah, you can do a rocket back torque and you sit on a hip high curb, ledge, whatever. And then once you want to go down, you just drop down and you stand. But if the spot is smaller, let's say knee high, you need to stand up out of it. Otherwise you collapse. And the same for like disaster tricks and other aspects where you need body tension in the muscles to kind of work against things. So yeah, I kind of use this term to combine flexibility and muscle work in one thing. So body tension, like super loose tension, so be super loose and flexible, even for movement. People know the legendary, let's say, Dominic Sagona fluent lines where he combines those really almost. Back in the day, there was not a lot of urban skating around, but if you compare it to nowadays skating, it looks like Nicola Torelli to me. How the gecko Sagona was moving back then, and then on the opposite side, you have like really strong characters who where one push looked like a speed skater, like and like perfect power transfer. So for me, the term body tension covers both, like super flexible, fluid movements, and also strength and power. And this is what we want to talk today, and maybe I can give people some hints how to improve and how to also unprove a couple of aspects, because I will tell later, because I believe you can have too much of one of both and it can be a bad thing for your rollerblading and your general health actually. So yeah, some questions from your side?
How does one go about practicing body tension, having being tensed enough versus when you should lean back on tension? What's a good way to start that?
So as usual, it's almost like a thing I can say like for your general health and life movement. In Germany, you say like, I think the literal translation would be like, use it or lose it. Yes. So if you only use one thing but you don't train the other, you will definitely lose it. But if let's say you're really flexible but you never train the muscle aspects, like I said, you can go down on tricks but you collapse in them. So switch up will be really hard, because if you're boot down on your topsail, it's hard for you to switch up to a true topsail because you don't have the muscles to stay up. Svenish, my flexible homie, had this problem for quite a while in the beginning. Now he finally on a good level and he can do like sitting back talks to stay up back Savannah, and it takes time. But what you can do is like level 1 is groundwork without skates. So you can work on things like, let's say, squats and first let's say breaking fully down. If you can't even do a squat because you don't have the flexibility, do butterfly stretches, Find a way to learn a comfortable squat and be able to comfortably stay out of it. So go down, quite chill, not a lot of shaking and balancing needed, and stay up out of it without a lot of uncomfortability. So it's chill for you. And this is like one thing to master. Sounds easy for a couple of guys, but for other guys, it's really hard. For me, I'm moving since I'm super young, like did rollerblading and parkour and other stuff. I never had problems with these. I have like quite stiff ankles. I don't have a lot of ankle mobility forward-wise, so I have like a bit wider stance. Yeah. Other people can do them like legs together, and I'm like David Sizemore style. The landings are like super on point, and I'm super jealous. So I'm always, I'm not Frankie with like the super healthy stance, but I'm also not David. I'm somewhere in the middle and need to work regularly on it. Otherwise, I'm losing them literally. Especially with my knee operation currently, I had to work on them a lot. You work besides blading to master a squat, which is like a basic movement, and always nice to work because blading is a lot of lower body posture. Lower back and like your hip mobility, this is the next steps. Why hip mobility? Because people think again like flexibility and body tension, like in general, or like strength. It's not only this aspect of mobility and body tension. Because if you think about top sides, when I was younger, I had like loose, dashy carbon soft boots. I always thought like, yeah, it's only the ankles because I never gave one damn about body posture. And I was just skating my P-roll, doing my switch ups and staying like this. And only later on I realized, okay, I want to, on certain tricks, I want to go boot down for these reasons and at least cosplay like a stylish skater once in my life. So I worked on these aspects. And in the beginning, I thought it's still the ankles. But later on, when I skated more and more hard boots for promos and stuff, I realized, it feels in the knees, but the knees only move in one direction. And they can only move inside through the rotation of the hip. So you need hip flexibility to do a deeper top side. Your ankle might help you and your knees a bit. But the key chain on top, which is opening everything underneath, it's the hips. So once you have really good hip mobility, your top sides will get way easier. And also your boot down tricks, let's say like a back rail and back valve. Once I realized it and put in work, most of my tricks got easier, even like a top mistral and stuff, way better. Still not like, I'm not RK Parker or somebody, but I'm quite happy where I'm at right now, considering to where I was, let's say, even 2 years ago. Like I could do these things 2 years ago that I do now too, but I needed more warm up. It was a bit more painful and stuff, and now it's more flexible. So yeah, first thing off the skates, one thing to a goal to achieve. So raw betting get easier is a relaxed go down and stay up again, full body squat with full range of motion. You can use like a thingy to cheat your heels, but it's fine. Next thing is like really good hip mobility. You can work on it with like 90-90 stretches and stuff. Just Google for hip mobility. Yeah, and then the next thing in the chain is tiny bit above your lower back. Maybe the under 30 people who are listening, like, what the fuck is he talking about? Sorry, what is he talking about? But the plus 30 guys will definitely know what I'm talking about. So stretching the lower back, it's still combined with the hips. It's a big, how it's called, body chain mechanics thingy.
Yeah.
But your shoulders and your upper body. My summary for this is always when you fall, it's your biggest insurance, because if you fall on the ground, you need to push away your head from the ground. So you need push power. It can be just a tiny bit of push up. You don't need to go full dips with weights like me and stuff. And like overhead, like I do like pike push ups. This is the end goal if you skate bigger spots. Sometimes rarely happen, but I have like these crazy bails where I do like the cartwheel. And if you don't have the strength, you will literally fall on your head. And I saved myself a couple of times where it's reasonably important for me to work on these things. So yeah, if you fall, this is why I think once you master the other things, and if you want to start skate bigger spots, or if you generally skate bigger spots, upper body strength to push yourself away from the ground and pull power. If you skate lashes or rails, if you slip, you pull the obstacle to yourself to don't fly all the way. So pulling power to save yourself and pushing power to save your head from the ground. These two aspects for upper body and shoulders in general, but this is all connected, big other topic. But for today, like I said, hip ability and squats and lower body, lower back, just for your elder self, save his back, do a bit good. And this is off the blades. On the blades, put the blades on, and it's super easy. This will be just a couple, not like 20 minutes, I'm already yapping, it's shorter. Just mimic the tricks on the ground. You can also use a super small obstacle, primarily like, let's say, a cooping box, but not everybody of us have the luxury of cooping boxes out there. Ideally to something to grip to, like I just put a P-rail next to a wall or to whatever obstacle or to a pole, a tree, whatever. Or you are lucky and, like I said, have an obstacle which something next to it. I call it groundwork or dry work. Dry work sounds funny. So you mimic the grinds and try to go most of them boot down. Obviously not the fast slide, but talk top sole. Some won't work, some will work, and you will already benefit from a couple of the hip mobility stretches on these ones. But still, why it's important to train these kind of aspects on raw baits, certain muscles get hit differently when you have the raw baits on compared to if you don't have them on. Let's say you do a squat, your legs are straight. If you do a squat on a royal or on cap driver or fully, different muscles get hit differently. And it can be a totally different, totally big difference. Like I have aspects where I have moments where I didn't train a trick for a while. And then let's say I have an obsessed wannabe Sean Kelso session where I kind of learned some of his tricks that he recently do in an edit or something. And I do like talks for 45 minutes. My calf and my outside tibialis, whatever muscle, are burning for a day. Even so, I do a lot of talks every now and then, right? Still burning because it's not used to these kind of aspects. And I thought, like, what the fuck? I do like dragonfly squats with like a complicated calisthenics, whatever squat, with like weights and stuff. Not the same muscle, not the same group. So train the tricks while having the skates on. This is the while doing the skating thing. And now the last aspect, certain aspects in your mental and in your focus abilities can help while rollerblading. It doesn't have to be like visualizing tricks by itself, because I understood over the years that not every brain works the same. I'm really overthinking and over analyzing, obviously, tricks as a technical cunning blader guy, but I'm also visualizing tricks like really obsessively. I'm like one of those kids, even with 30 something. The last thing I think about before I go to sleep is usually rollerblading and tricks. Even so, I didn't skate it in 6 months. I visualize them, thinking about small aspects I could improve on the top Soul 360 Soul. Like on my Instagram subscription thing, I have a lot of, I call them trick tips, where you can do like top Soul 360 Soul, the classic Nick Lomax switch up over the toe wheel, the front wheel, and you use them as leverage. And this is the last thing that's left. So instead of doing one big jump, I try to, the older I get, to finesse tricks to a point where I jump less and have less energy waste, I call it. So I use these small aspects where I leverage over the front wheel, almost like a toe spin on the ground. And then I do an early spin. So I spin before I even left the rail, the ground. And I do a shortcut before I do the real spinning in the air, and I save momentum. So once I really in the air, I already spinned like 90 degrees and it's only a couple degrees left, and I move the last in. And I do movements like pre-spinning, I call them. So I lock before my upper body is even there. People know it from Nemirovsky when he did them the late spin kind, or no, when his lower body landed, but his upper body was still looking backward and stuff, or Murder used to do it and these stuff. So you master your own way of doing them, and you find, let's say, imperfections, how you approach the tricks, and then they get easier. When you reach the point where it's really comfortable to do these tricks, I call it add your flavor. And then you can add your own imperfection actually kind of back, or like not back. Let's say you can do them how you feel comfy in them. And ideally, it will reflect, like, let's say, your character, your personality, your imperfections. And this is what I honestly would describe style, because people used to act like you're either born with it or you can't get it. No, actually, you can learn style, but now it gets philosophical. But to learn style, if you're not the most stylish skater, you actually need to learn yourself a bit more. So your own imperfections. So your copy, your master, for visualizing the last aspects of the three was like off the skates, on the skates, visualizing. You copy, you master them, and then you get so comfortable that you can actually, what's it called, tweak it into what you want out of it. Make it yourself. Be a bit creative and add some flavor. Yeah, these are the three things for how to train body tension. But I have other aspects we also can talk about.
Yeah. Well,
sorry for I yapped already for quite long.
No, dude, that's all great information. So for body conditioning, we're talking about strength training, we're talking about stretching, we're talking about practicing the tricks, and obviously working on the body position. How do you use body tension to affect your style?
Oh, this is a long one. I'll try to shorten it up as much as possible. I don't consider myself as a talented, stylish skater who got it easy in that direction. I mean, like, some people will be like, what? But most of the people only know edits for myself from 10 years ago. But if you go, let's say, 15 years ago, or even, I think one of my first edits is like soon 20 years ago, 2006. Yeah. Whoa. My first YouTube edit on the weird old school YouTube accounts that I'm still using to this day. Yes, it's a real Eugen there. So if you watch my really, really old one, you can definitely see me, like I said, cosplaying a stylish skater, the copying aspect. But I didn't was like a Sagona kind of type character, or like in our country, like Mark Stamer, Jochen Smuda, who are, dude, I saw footage of those guys when they skated for, like, let's say 1 or 2 years, and they've already been steezy. Some people are just born with it. But my thing is, like, sometimes the guys who are treated with steez, they usually, I don't want to say quit early or rollerblading, but they don't appreciate the hard work that the not steezy guys need to put in, and they usually quit earlier, because once they did everything that they can do easily in their reach, they understand, oh, I need to put in work now. I don't like putting in work, and they quit. I saw over the years a lot, like, about these kind of people. So I consider myself one of the hardworking guys, obviously, since I'm also obsessed with technical rollerblading. So I learned a lot. My first years was just like rack skating and like some old Salomon and Robert TRS, and trying to grind the wall rail obsessively, just frontside, backside the wall rail all fucking day long, all day long. And then later on, I figured out souls and pauncers and unities. And even my first topside, I learned way too late, after 4 years of rollerblading or something. So I didn't work on my hips and these kind of things for many, many years, which explains a lot. This is like my background, so people understand that I actually needed to work for if they think my skating is stylish, to work on this style that they see for myself. How I use body tension. I'm not obsessed about how I do, but how I feel. But I don't always think if something that I do looks stylish. For me, the most important thing is that I need to feel good in it. And what does good mean? I need to feel unbelievably comfortable and under control. But I mean, like, I want to be the master of the movement. I wanna like, if I do an A top sole, I want to be able to rewind a switch 5 out of it. Sounds hilarious, but I did it in Copenhagen once. Even switch A top sole, rewind 5. So and these are the aspects I'm overly obsessed. Not the execution of the trick itself, that it needs to be looked controlled. I use body tension to actually manipulate always the counter thing. I want to have the full control over the trick while still adding my creative chaos into it to let's say add some flavor. Yeah. So both is important, flexibility to go down on a trick, like I mentioned, but I also want to be down. If I boot down, I think I posted those a couple of times on my Instagram. I do like back toss while talking to the cam, full down on my ass on the talk, and then I stand up and be able to even do a true asset or something. And these aspects, like the mindfuckery of this is what I love the most, and I consider my style, if I even have any. Yeah.
I think so. Man, well, again, I love what you have to say. I love your brain. I love the things that you think about. It's good for all of us to have people like you doing this stuff. So, before we sign out, is there anything else you want to say to the people, whether it be about body tension or really anything rollerblading with the topic today? What you got to say?
We live in crazy times, and it can get really depressive, no matter where you live. And I know it's easy to say, not from my perspective. I have family in Ukraine. It's crazy for me too. But I mean, like, it's easy for people to say these things, to stay positive and stuff, but it's always easier to complain and to see the bad aspects in life and the dark aspects. And I'm not meaning about trolling and hating on the internet. Keep going. And I'm under my skates, all the boomers out there. I keep rage baiting you. I mean, in general in life. And sorry. I mean, in general in life, if you're injured as a rollerblader, if you're going through hard times, and it's hard to stay over it. And so I'm with all of you guys out there going through hard shit, mentally or physically. But I know it's hard. Stay as much, even if you can't stay positive, stick to it. Keep going, bite through it. It will be all working out. Trust me. It worked for me and all my friends and everybody. And yeah, so instead of seeing the bad things, try to see the positive thing, even if there are not many left. And yeah, what I want to say is like, accept your situation. Yeah, now we're getting to the point. Accept your situation, no matter where it is, even if it's good. It's sometimes good to reflect. If you're in a good time, at least reflect. Appreciate it, even in a good time. Accept your situation and make the best out of it. Make it. Don't sit down. Don't freeze. Don't stagnate. And the last thing, yeah, with all the chaos in the world, rollerblading is a quite small community, even so it gets bigger with COVID and stuff. We should stick together, and I'm the last guy to complain about it, but push the local sessions. Go more often out. Even me as a solo blader, I try my best. Now I'm coming back with Schabernack, and I will hopefully invite more people to Schabernack and visit the Scheune. Soon I'm coming, guys, and other stuff. Maybe not every week, but at least I will try a couple of times. Embrace sessions. And I know there's this group, and this guy talks about this guy, but dude, even if you're younger, for the older guys at least, for the younger guys, you're probably aware enough. You are hopefully Generation Z or whatever out there, and you couldn't give a damn less about those old boomers complaining about the pants of another guy from another city. But for the old guys out there, we are too old. You only have like how many? 1 to 2 hours left beside the family or your responsibility or your priorities in life to rollerblade a fun session. Have fun. Do a workout. Write some poetry. I don't care. Keep your anger. Find ways to compensate your anger in a different way. Have fun in the one thing we got left in rollerblading. And I know people out there like, he's so soft. We should still complain. Yeah, I don't talk about trolling to all my. I don't want to call people to the BMAC Pittsburgh, whatever guys out there who still love to troll. Keep trolling. Keep hating. I love the controversy, but I want mean like real hateful anger speech, which can end to literal violence. Stay the fuck out of rollerblading. We're too old. Improve your ugly ass switchback Savannas or whatever in the meantime. Yeah, honestly, like, because you know what's up. I'm the least guy you can complain about tricks. I got them all. So yeah, be as positive as possible and stick to the thing. Keep shredding. And I think this is really unique thing we have in life. You can't even compare it to. I saw so many fun sports, and this is still uncomparable for me because we've been a sport which had millions, and we are now so small than all the other fun sports. So we've been there, but we know both sides, and we have. And in my eyes, this is our not our weakness, but actually this is why people. I'm swinging too much. Is this supposed to be the end? Last thing, but this is one of the things. This is one of the things people are always confused when I sometimes say negative things about rollerblading getting to the Olympics, because I always see it like a two cutting-sided sword thingy, where you need to be really careful with like the selling off aspects when it gets too much sporty, and you lose aspects of core and street culture and these kind of things. And I think, yes, it could be a bit bigger. I would wish for like a COVID hype. I would wish for another COVID. I would wish for COVID level hype current state, but it doesn't have to be the crazy 90s X Games thing. It would be cool, but we are surviving through the darkest times with just our culture, with a couple of brands we are left. We have proved a point. And if we stick to it, we'll stay forever. Eugen on 70 sessions with like P-Race when I'm a grandpa with sticks. You see it coming, I called it. So yeah. This is my last hope core from Eugen's side. Thanks for listening to my yapping.
Dude, anytime. Thank you so much for coming on. I like I've said before, I love just listening to you talk about this stuff, so I really appreciate it. This has been Talking Body Tension with Eugen Enin for another Form Philosophy. Make sure you guys like the video, stick around. Eugen does have a new pro skate coming out, the Eugen Enin 4. I know you've seen it, and I know you want to support this man, so you do everything you can, get that skate, help the man out more than anything. Do what he says. Stay positive. Support each other. Let's keep the love in house, and let's make sure we remember who we are. Eugen, thanks so much, dude. I love you a lot.
Thanks a lot.
All right, everybody. We're gonna catch you in the next one. Later, bladers.
Bye.
All right, my friend. That was great.
Oh man, it was way too long. I tried to do already.
No.